government that matches their decency, that embodies their strength. Tonight I'd like to talk about how together we can deliver on that promise. It begins with our economy.
What were you hoping to hear tonight from the president?
I wanted to hear a number of things. Mainly more jobs that will be available for me and other people that that go through the living situations like I do. Mainly, that's what basically I wanted to hear. The lower class, basically.
And did he come through as far as you're concerned, or
not exactly? I mean, it's not out of the ordinary that the lower class doesn't get mentioned, But I think they need to focus more on
right. But what he said tonight, do you think that's how much do you think that will affect the Austin community? The kind of program that he put forward.
It may affect us. I can't put a real percentage around it, to tell the truth.
Yeah. I mean, what's the situation facing young people today, in this community, as far as unemployment, as far as school, and
poverty, a lot of violence and stuff like that.
What's going to take to try to turn this country around, economically and every other way?
Probably more of just take the selfishness out of the country. That's what I see, really. Everybody's mainly out for themselves instead of trying to help each other. I think we all need to stop and look at each other as like brothers and sisters and try to help each other more, because it's just like selfish. That's basically how I look at it. Everyone's being very selfish and just
need to pull together. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And what about, do you feel there's a time or a need for more protest action, getting people to get out and demonstrate for jobs and more money for schools and things of that nature to turn things around?
Yeah. We need much more protesting, because it'll at least show that it'll show that we're trying. At least we're pushing for that.
I expected to hear Obama talk about his objectives more and clearly state how he's going to go about helping specific populations as far as getting jobs. It seems like to me that President Obama has a great lots of ideas what he wants to do for this country, but it always seems to leave a certain population out. 9 times 10, that population seems to be the person who has a background or a criminal record, or it seems to be an immigrant, some shape, some form. So, I expected him to touch on the basis of probably help guys who can't get a second chance in this economy, because society puts a label on them that if you once a criminal, you're always a criminal, but it's not like that. But I expected him to touch on somewhat of how helping the immigrants and how the money would trickle down more to the lower class and how the jobs are going to be provided to those. I know what it takes to change, it probably needs to take more programs and more organizations places like the Peace Corners, who are actually out here trying to help those populations who are left out by what the government tends to do for the economy. So I say it's going to be a collaborative effort. It's going to take more than just the president, the vice president, House representatives, Congress, lawmakers, policymakers. It's going to take us everyday average people to try to put forth some effort to try to network together and try to help each other so we can build a better economy.
What are you expecting to hear, or hoping to hear from the president tonight?
I'm hoping that he can touch back on what really the drive was. The campaign had about the poor class, the job, the change. I would like to see that.
The kinds of changes that he talked about during the campaign.
Yes. That's what I would like.
Among your friends and family and
it's real bad.
Yeah. If you had to put a percentage on it, how much
I'm gonna say 60%.
60% of young people
that I know of, yeah.
African American youth.
Yes, my fear, yeah, is family, because like if I get to where I'm going and my company again, you know, I can give back also. So that's our that's our main goal.
Yeah, and what about the kinds of jobs that are available in the community right now for young people, particularly?
It's like really through the Peace Corner, you know, like the clean outs that were going on, like I said, the securing the buildings. And like other than that, it's like, you know, people probably job hunt, no success. But you know, they come here, get to know Father Mauricio, hang around, you know, and like he said, it's a list. Because he still sends us out on jobs, you know, because you know our business is just up and running, you know. So
started as a youth center for at-risk youth, and he has grown into still a youth center, but also a place for employment for young men released from prison. So we provide jobs for people who are considered unemployable usually because of their background. So we send them to work. We give them a class, a 9 weeks class, and after completion of the class and graduation, they enter into the job program. So they go to work and they get paid. From there, some of the guys started their own company, others got hired by bigger companies, real companies, others got employed in different walk of life. So there was a lot of good things. In the last 7 years, more than 150 kids, young men, went through the program.
Wow. And how many have found work?
I think at least 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it lasts how many years?
7 years.
7, wow.
Yeah. It's a big investment, for time consuming, but it's very much needed actually here, especially in a neighborhood like ours where there are no jobs. And our guys are unfortunately considered unemployable because of mistakes they have made in the past. So for us, the thing is to give them an opportunity, a chance.
Right.
What we like to say here is that to teach them to fly. They already have their wings, we just need them to teach them to fly. And it's working. It's working quite well, actually.
Good. And what did you expect to hear tonight from the President?
Actually, I like what he said, obviously, but I was expecting something more, something different. For example, there's a lot of emphasis, also in the last days, the last weeks, on the middle class, tax breaks on the middle class, and I never heard the word, what about the poor, the lower class, those who make less than $35,000, $40,000 a year. There is nothing tonight, there is a lot of tax breaks for, and incentives for small and big business. What about places like ours, non-for-profit, who work with those who are, as I said, considered unemployable? There was nothing for us, unless we always have to scramble for money, apply to programs, and we are not a big corporation. We have no staff just devoted to apply for those kind of big programs. So there is nothing that can actually help us to employ more.
What are you hoping to hear tonight?
I'm hoping to hear that the President is going to institute a national jobs program that puts our most vulnerable populations back to work, people with disabilities, ex-offenders, youth, the chronic unemployed. I think that we need to really hear some leadership on his part in terms of how do we get this economy back on track and putting people.
Are you, what do you think it's going to take as far as action by Congress and whatnot?
Well, there has to be some bill in place that says that we're going to put people back to work. But it has to be a significant bill that puts at least 3.5 million people back to work over a 5-year period to really jumpstart the economy. And those jobs could be in social services. Those jobs can be in infrastructure improvements, the roads, the bridges, the schools. They can be also in the green technology, retrofitting, weatherizing homes.
Yeah. When you take a look at the Austin community, what is it in the Austin community that you think, where could the jobs be created? What great need is there in the community here?
I think one of the things is, retrofitting and rebuilding our schools, rebuilding our roads, rebuilding the streets, rehabbing abandoned buildings, putting people back to work in terms of wallpapering and plastering homes. There's an incredible amount that you can do. You can do social service work, you can do community organizing. There's a lot of ways you can put people back to work. A lot.